Hi, this is JP from Studio JPEG. In this video, I'm going to be doing a review of this teleconverter from Canon, which is the Extender EF 1.4X version 3 teleconverter. So I rented this for 10 days along with the Canon 400mm f5.6, and I'm nearing the point where I have to return them, so I'm doing reviews of my experience with them for almost 2 weeks now. So I took a couple of thousand photos with these setups. So I tried with just the lens itself, I tried with the 1.4x teleconverter, and I tried with the 2x teleconverter from Canon. And my impressions with the teleconverters, and especially the 2x, is I'm not sure it's something that I would recommend buying unless you have a very specific need for it. So the first thing that I noticed is it's actually not compatible with any of the lenses which I currently have. So that was quite a shocker to me. I thought that teleconverters were a bit more compatible. So thankfully it is compatible with the Canon 400mm f5.6 lens. So I did get a chance to do quite a lot of testing with it. But unfortunately it is not compatible with any of my other lenses, even the Tamron 70-300mm lens, which that one I was really surprised since it is a telephoto lens, but unfortunately it doesn't connect. The big issue with this is you have this part that enters into the lens and it's not flush with the mount. So it actually goes into the lens, and it's this part that doesn't fit on any of the other lenses. So I wish they would have designed it a little differently. I don't know if it's something Canon could do in the future, but it would have been nice to be compatible with more lenses. All that being said, it's very easy to use. It works the same way as when you're attaching a lens to your camera. So you just line the red dot here with the red dot on the teleconverter, you twist it and you're good. And this gives you another red dot here, which you can use to attach to your camera. So in terms of use, it's really easy to attach and detach and all that. So the next question is, how big of an effect does it do on photos? Honestly, I don't really notice that much of a difference, because the teleconverters, they do reduce the image quality by a little bit. And like this one, it provides a zoom by 1.4x, which means that if I crop an image taken with just a lens by 1.4x, I don't really notice that big of a difference. I was hoping for the image to look a little bit more zoomed in than what it is. So I'm a little bit disappointed by the teleconverters in general. So one thing which really bothered me with this, especially with the Canon 400mm f5.6 lens, is that you lose one stop of aperture. So it turns the f5.6 into an f8 lens, which by itself, sure, you lose one stop of aperture, which means you have to compensate with either shutter speed or ISO, which that part I'm fine with. But because it becomes an f8 lens, my Canon 6D camera cannot autofocus with it. So that's where it becomes a really big issue. When you use this teleconverter on a lens such as a 400mm lens and you bring it to your eye, everything kind of becomes blurry and all that, just because of the focal length, and you're just zoomed in too much, and any little vibration is going to move the image quite a lot. So sure, you can compensate with shutter speed, and that's good. But when you have to manually focus, the shutter speed doesn't help your eye try to achieve focus. So for that reason, I find it hard that you lose autofocus on some lenses, and manual focus just becomes much harder to do. So for all those reasons, unless somebody is living off of their sports photography or wildlife photography, where they really need the extra reach that a teleconverter offers, probably, and again, if you have a lens which is actually compatible with it, then again, for those people, it might be worth it. But for most other people, I was really disappointed, and I'm very happy that I rented this because I don't think it's something that I'll be purchasing for myself. So I'm really happy to have rented this piece of equipment because it's not something that I plan on purchasing anytime soon. The drawbacks of this were just too big, except, again, if you have an f2.8 lens, then it's not so bad because at least you don't lose the autofocus. But yeah, losing focus on the types of lenses which I would be inclined to use this with just makes it too much of a drag for me. And the other thing to take into consideration is that you lose 1 stop of aperture, but on top of that, you also lose about a stop of shutter speed because you're zoomed in quite a lot more. So you have to use a faster shutter speed to compensate to keep your images steady. So you end up losing about 2 stops of light when you combine both the shutter speed and the aperture difference. So it's starting to put a lot of stress on the ISO. With the Canon 6D camera, I didn't find it to be a problem at all. I find the 6D to really offer amazing performance in any ISO that I put it on, basically. But it's still another extra little downside to this teleconverter, which would make me want to pass on it. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave them in the box below. If you liked the video, please click like, subscribe, and share with a friend. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.